Well, I've decided to build a little shed. Did the floor joist and the beams, leveled it, started putting the deck on. Got this far. Now, I'm not a carpenter. I'm an ex-machinist, but I think I can make it happen. Alright. I was going to cut it on top of the trailer, but couldn't maneuver enough to get to the right place, so I want to put it down here and try to cut it. The shed's only 8 foot by 6 foot, so it makes it pretty simple. I'll lay these boards out. I've checked, these are 8 footers, and they're exactly 8 foot from the mill, which is good. 12 footers aren't, so I have to cut those to fit. I'm gonna have a 6 foot wall, so each 2x4 by 12 foot long will make 2 studs. Now, when I'm cutting these studs, I'm cutting them out of 12 foot 2x4s. I'm cutting 6 foot walls or 6 foot studs. So they're not exactly 12 foot long, so you can't just measure to the center and cut it. So you have to measure 6 foot from each end, scribe line, and saw on that mark. Even though this is a small shed, I'm still going to make the corners the same as you would in a house. So it's going to require 2 studs together and then 1 stud from the other side. Okay, for the long wall, the 8 foot length, I'm making this part of the T, the corner. It's a little bit overkill for a shed, I absolutely. You don't need it really, except for the fact that in my mind it adds me a little bit of protection from these trees if one falls. If a large tree falls, it's not going to help it, but the more sturdy I can build it, the better it'll be if a smaller tree falls. When you lay this out, I'm going to put these studs on 16-inch centers. So from the end, you have the place for the corner, but here you would go 3/4 of an inch each side of the 16, 3/4 of an inch on each side of the 32, so forth, all the way down the line, every 16 inches. So if you make a mark, and then take your square, and just draw the line here and here, and that's where the stud from the bottom plate and the top plate. First top plate. This is sole plate, this top plate, and then there'll be another plate on top of this one. In an attempt to keep the plywood from warping very much, since we get so much rain here in Texas, I'm going to cover this thing with plastic. I'm not sure when I'll get around to putting the roof on it. It may be a week, it may be a month, I don't know, but the more water I can keep off of it, the better off it'll be. So I'm tacking it down. When I get the walls going up, or after I get the walls going up and I start to put the siding on, I can just trim that off. Put the boards right over, it's not going to hurt anything. I won't have to pull the nails out. I've already connected the 2 end pieces of the corners. I'm going to lay one of these out at the center of each of those lines. Studs will be on 16-inch center. When you lay out the walls, make sure your ends are even. Make your mark on both sides, on both boards at the same time. All the way down on 16-inch centers for these. Since this shed's only 6 foot wide, I've assembled the first wall, the 8 foot long wall. I'm going to assemble the second 8 foot wall on top of it. I'm going to move it enough to where I can lay the other wall and stand it up, actually, not lay it, but stand it up, and then stand this one up, because it's very difficult for me. I have a bad back, so a lot of things that I do are based on the fact that I can't do a lot of heavy lifting, and this would be kind of ideas for people who have a bad back and are elderly that can't do things as well as they did at one time. Alright, with a little assistance from my son-in-law, I raised the two walls. Got them up, the two 8 foot walls. Now I'm going to put the 6 foot section at the back hole. I'm going to lay it out and put the studs together. When you lay it out, you really don't need to mark that first stud. You're just going to put it on the edge. But from there on, you mark it also on 16-inch centers. On this one particular one, it's like 3 studs in between. It's a short wall. Okay, once you raise the walls and you get them together, you got them nailed in it's the corner. Right here, this wall runs into this wall. You need to put your top plate and tie these two walls together. So the top plate on this wall here will overlap that wall, like that. And then the top plate over here will just go down to where the top plate on the other end will tie that wall together, or that side together. But then you have the top plate on the whole 4 walls. Since I don't really know exactly what type of roof I'm going to put on it yet, whether a hip roof or just a leaning roof or some type of a gable roof, I want to have a little bit of a roof coming out over the door because I don't want to use a store-bought door. I want to make a wider door, and I want to make it where the rain won't get in. So I want the roof to be at least 2 to 3 foot overhang. So I have to figure out how to do that before I go any further. Besides, I don't have the material yet. So that'll be it for this one. But when you do this type of thing, always try to remember to do things as safely as you can. Try to wear safety glasses if you have them. If you don't, get them. I'm a firm believer in safety glasses. If you get up on a ladder like I did, especially if you're have a little age like me, you got to be careful. So that's all for this segment.